Alright guys, so we are continuing our Green Lantern journey today, and I'm going to be moving on to Green Lantern No Fear. So I thought Green Lantern Rebirth did a fantastic job of introducing me to the character of Hal Jordan and just the overall world of the Green Lanterns. There were so many things that had happened prior to that comic, and I was so worried about it being overstuffed when I first read it, but luckily it wasn't, and it did a great job of introducing me to everything. So I can't wait to see where Hal Jordan goes from here, so let's get right into it. Alright guys, so I just got done reading Green Lantern No Fear, and I have got to say, I was so surprised by how grounded this comic felt. Because after coming off of Green Lantern Rebirth, which was this huge cosmic comeback story for Hal Jordan, this one feels so much more personal, and honestly, I was not expecting that, so let's talk about it. What really stuck out to me right away was just how grounded No Fear feels compared to Rebirth, because Rebirth was all about Jordan's redemption on a massive scale. It dealt with Parallax, the Spectre, Sinestro, and all that cosmic level storytelling. It was a big celebration of bringing Hal back into the Green Lantern mythos, with every page pretty much screaming, "Pay attention, this is important." But when you get into No Fear, the tone shifts dramatically. It doesn't feel like you're reading a giant event anymore. It feels like you're reading a very human story about a guy who's just trying to figure out where he belongs. It slows the pacing down and just really zeroes in on Hal's everyday life. He's back on Earth, he's no longer this cosmic savior in the middle of some big crossover event, and he suddenly has to deal with regular people, old friends, and the awkward reality of re-entering a world that he thought was gone for good. And I honestly think this grounded approach is exactly what the character needed after Rebirth. It's almost like Johns was saying, okay, we brought Hal back, we explained the big cosmic stuff, now let's remind people why he's compelling as a person, and that balance really worked for me. Now, one of the strongest parts of this comic is how it digs deeper into Hal's backstory, because we get to see more of him outside of the uniform. Hal isn't just a Green Lantern, he's a man with history, baggage, and relationships. And it's really interesting to see how Hal's past as a test pilot and as somebody who's always been kind of a daredevil plays into this. His personality is a little reckless, he's a little cocky, but underneath that there's this desire to prove himself again, not just to others, but to himself. And that human element is what made me connect with him more than I thought I would. And honestly, this comic made Hal Jordan just really feel a lot more three-dimensional to me than Rebirth did. Rebirth was about legacy, No Fear is about identity, and that's what makes it hit harder on a character level. Now, something I really didn't expect going into this was just how violent some of the parts actually got, because when I think Green Lantern, you usually kind of picture like big space battles, colorful constructs, you know, that kind of classic superhero tone, but No Fear really surprised me with how gritty some of the encounters felt. Like, there is literally a moment where a giant shark man comes up and completely devours somebody right in front of his girlfriend in the ocean, and then he literally comes out of the water trying to get her, and you can see the guy's head and his arm hanging out of his mouth, and it's just, honestly, in a messed up way, I kind of welcomed it. It really makes you feel the danger of being Green Lantern. Like, not everything can be solved with a giant green boxing glove or something like that. Like, it really just shows you that this is a dangerous world he's protecting, and anything can really happen here. Now, if I do have a critique, it's the ending. Because while the first half of the story felt very focused and character driven, by the time we hit the end, it gets a little chaotic. You start to see multiple villains show up and different storylines clashing together, and it almost just kind of feels like too much is happening all at once. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. There's still a lot of fun seeing Green Lantern face down multiple threats, but compared to how grounded the personal, beginning was, like, the ending lost some of that focus. It almost felt like Johns wanted to remind us that, like, yeah, it's still a superhero book. Here's a bunch of action and villains and coming at Hal all at once. And while that's fine, I definitely preferred the quieter, more personal moments earlier in the story. That's where No Fear really shines for me. By the time you get all these different villains in play, it kind of just dilutes some of that emotional core to the story, I think. Overall, I really enjoyed Green Lantern No Fear. It was a perfect follow-up to Rebirth, and instead of trying to one-up the spectacle, it pulls back and gives us a more grounded, more character-focused story. If Rebirth is about redemption, No Fear is about reintegration. It's about figuring out who you are when the world has already moved on, and that's something I think a lot of people can relate to, even outside of superhero comics. So, guys, I love this. This was fantastic. Recommend me some more Green Lantern comics in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of this comic as well. And if you are new to the channel, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button along with the notification bell to stay updated on when new content like this drops. Thanks for watching, God bless, and I will see you in the next video. See ya!